Bottom right hand corner, our red Terran player is going to be Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. And the top left, our blue Zerg from onside. It is Solar. Game number 1, best of 3 finals. Double up your prize money is what this best of 3 is for, from $40 to $80. So a bit of money on the line. Shout out to OSC who helped to sponsor up these qualifiers, helping us raise the prize pool a little bit, which is awesome. Solar's going to return the shut up now that ByuN decides to GLHF. Two racks coming in. ByuN's going to be very aggressive. It's going to be 2 racks in total, and Babylon for the opening Reapers. It's funny because I see Grezvan as the Reaper map so often that to see Babylon being the Reaper map is a little bit different. Do you see our first Reaper about halfway done? It's just going to be ByuN. A very ByuN way of playing. Just going to get aggressive with those Reapers and see indeed what he can get up to here in these early stages. Solar with the I don't know what this is, but I assume something that's making ByuN laugh. Thought Innie might tell us, but apparently not. If it comes around, a few Zerglings going to continue through, so the Reaper is going to get pinned back for a few moments. We have our Lings continue around, a grenade goes down, Queen going to get popped over to the side. And you have our Queen already putting some damage onto that Reaper, and the Reaper just getting shoved away for the moment and pushed up to the top. Factory is building from ByuN, so again, that factory coming up. Manson is about halfway done at the moment as well. These Reapers are going to dive in. It's going to go for first drone already. Now a good grenade that'll bop a Ling back a bit and give you some more time, but we don't find a second drone yet. I thought we would have found a second drone there, but apparently not quite able to. A little sad. Obviously would be nice to get extra damage done. Generally, the more these Reapers do, the better you are. We do get a second drone in the end. We hop back up, but there's a Queen still here, so that opening is already closed. And this will be well, a situation that's definitely starting to quiet down just a little bit. As ByuN is going to drop a couple more grenades. Reaper's still getting bopped around. Not really doing too much, though. I'm just seeing our Zerglings coming to wrap around. That last Reaper is going to go down as well. That will be that. Alright, well, the Reapers are dealt with. Coming out of this, a stim pack upgrade to set us up is going to be the next part, or the next idea in this game. Solar asking for the Terran nerf. I'm glad everyone's having fun, if nothing else. Everyone's having a good... I'm just sitting here enjoying. Everyone's having a good time. Raven's about to finish. You can see our Stimfact just continuing through. And again, Lair is already producing, so again, that tech up from Solar. But we are going to have a bit of a stim time in here from ByuN. He's actually going to move out with the Raven and a handful of Marines. Don't imagine he actually goes across the map with this, but... Raven goes all the way out to the north. We do see a hatchery in the front getting set down as well. And our Stimpack still coming through. About to finish up the few Marines and the Medivacs. The engineering bay is all producing. They do manage to get a drone on the auto turret. So one of the things you obviously see a lot on TVP is this Raven auto turret harass. TvZ not so much, because a lot of the time you do want to keep the Raven to the front because you actually want to clean the creep spread, whereas in TVP you don't really need the Raven until it's, you know, the big push timing. Usually in TvZ there's a lot more poking around to be done before the big push, so kind of surprising to see the Raven just sort of let off over there. It's just sort of like, oh, you go do what you want to do. It's like, wait, what? I mean, just do what I want to do. It's like, yeah, you do what you want to do, and the Raven's like whatever I want to do, or is there like some sort of limit here? Flings come in and they do grab the auto turrets, so yeah, just gonna harass, and obviously the Marines are gonna come around as well. If the Raven can, you know, move a couple of Queens around, give these Marines more of a chance to get more done as well. Marines will stim in. Queen taking a bit of a beat, and the rest of the Lings will come around this right-hand side. Marines now loading up and just going to peel around and get set to dive in toward the main base in the next few moments to get that ready to go as well. These attacks poised to strike as Banelings, Zerglings all producing the melee upgrades, and the Banelings speed also coming up at the moment. Marines stim forward. They're going to get rid of a couple additional creep tumors, and seeing the Lings continue to run in, our Marines will load up once again. And still hanging out in the center. These Lings will open up the rocks, by the way, so as the rocks get opened up, we will have a bit of a chance to maybe flood on through here. Tank coming down, Clip gets cleaned up pretty much immediately. Marines and tanks will work their way around to the top and ready up a attack into the low ground again. Position here is good for ByuN. It's one of the positions you can take very easily on this map, and it's very powerful. Behind there's a fourth base, the armory, second factory, all the things that will continue his tech in this game. Well, his first attack, like I say, looks pretty scary, just the position he's able to get into so quickly. Solar does have +1 carapace finishing. That might be the sign for him to attack. There's not much else I imagine he's going to wait around for. He's got Lings coming in from the flank. He's got a lot of tanks, remember, ByuN. I think it's going to be a lift and just let the tanks kill off what they can. We can drop into the main base to keep the pressure on. Actually, we're going to unload back over here and go for a few more Zerglings. So actually, he does lose the tanks. Gets more done there. Now, auto turret will come in and pick off a Queen. Auto turret will come in and harass, and we pick off a Queen of the Marines. The auto turret forced the drones over here, which ByuN was like, oh, maybe I can chase those down, but he never really got close enough. Marines continue to just fight through. This is a great position. Just stood here in a choke point. Lings just kind of running into their death. That was a good trade for ByuN. He right now has gone up by, what, about 20 supply? So a solid lead at the moment. Glanced at it. Heals out around the right. Again, Hydrogen about to finish up. 2 melee upgrades continuing through our Overlord speed coming up as well. And we'll see our little scan coming down again as the creep spread will get cleaned out. And our Marines start to push on down the low ground. Tank still siege, Queen still taking some damage. Lings and Banes from the left and the right. And the Marines is going to retreat away. Get the heck out of there. Medevac's just about able to get out of reach. Two melee upgrades about to finish. The group spine still coming through. Extra Hydras and Banelings all being brought on up still, and just seeing ByuN back onto the map. Maxed out more or less. 2-2 very close to being done, although the carapace will be done sooner from Solar. And he's already got +2 melee, so actually ByuN is the one lacking on upgrades, actually. Solar could fight with 2-2 against 1-1. That would benefit him, but ByuN's not going to put himself in too precarious of a position, so even if Solar goes in with the upgrade lead, ByuN's going to have the advantage of being preset. Now, 1 or 2 of his tanks weren't exactly sieged up immediately, but now you've got Banes rolling off creep toward these Marines, and the splitting is absolutely beautiful from ByuN. Target fires the last Baneling on the south side. That was a good fight. The only thing that was the problem for ByuN was that, again, the initial... wow, that actually perfectly blocked the Lurker Den. The only issue really was that a couple of his tanks weren't sieged straight away, so he missed out on maybe 1, maybe 2 shots of splash damage. I could have just gone that little bit further in terms of helping out. That never really came around. Tanks over the sides. A couple of Vipers still producing. We do see Adrenal Glands on the way up as well. So again, Adrenal Glands coming up. The Muscular Augments coming in, +3 Carapace, +1 Missiles in production. And yeah, thank you so much, Truna, for the 41-month resub as ByuN suddenly everywhere. Cancels the base on the top, looking to get a kill on the bottom left. Lost the Marines there. Like I said, this base got cancelled. This Viper gets donated to the ByuN Foundation as he will continue down in towards this base, and well, doing decently at the moment as we just have to lift up. We'll go to the main, and ByuN just finding damage everywhere. The Auto Turret's still around, by the way. That Raven's still just being such an annoyance so far. Marines just gonna lift up one more time, escape away around the top. 2 Vipers, 2 Hydras. Continuing to produce right now as Adrenal Glands and the +3 Carapace. Continuing up as well, just seeing our Medivacs. We're about to try and move into position, not able to do too much though. I mean, Solar's still maxed out for all the damage he's been taking. The biggest thing here is that I would say that there's obviously been just a, little while where basically as Solar, you've had to, rebuild and you've not been able to build up the bank so much, and that's obviously painful. Generally, as this game moves on, you want to have a bigger and bigger, map to work with here. I will stim a few of the Banes still going down, Lings as well. As our Liberator tanks firing away, Bio pulls all the way back, and well, the tanks are going to shell their way through all of these Banelings. I'd imagine a lot of them going to start going down, and Bio in the back going to get rid of an Extractor. That's the Lurker Den again, cancelled, well killed. Medivacs will load up, escaping to the sides, tanks still pressuring. ByuN just doing such a good job of multitasking, definitely keeping Solo in a very difficult position pretty much throughout. Things and the Hydras continue through, and seeing this army of the Zerg still just rushing to try and be everywhere. The Terran army doing a great job of it. And again, keeping the Lurker Den down really means that Solo's delayed on his next stage of the tech as well. Got to imagine that that's a pretty big factor in everything that we're currently seeing too. If there was Lurkers on the field, a lot of what ByuN is doing would be much less successful. So yeah, that is 100% one more thing to be watching out for. As a few Lings just going to run over the right-hand side. Ghosts, tanks, back up the right here. A few more of these Zerglings already dropping off. Lurker Den is finally about to finish, I think, guys. Like I say, we've tried for it a few times over at this point. ByuN even going to start up a nuke, so he's really delving into other ways to kind of keep dealing damage to Solar. Lings just coming in, Siege Tank going to get knocked down, going to aim for another Siege Tank here off to the side. medevacs trying to make their way around. Still, as well, run-by is obviously trying to get bits and pieces of damage done. Doing an okay job of it. Marines will come through, aim for this hatchery, try and knock that out the way already. Again, ByuN has been very good at just denying things on repeat in this game. He's been really controlling the game in a pretty fantastic way, so far seems like he's just going to keep on doing that. Seismic Spines is about halfway done. The +2 missile upgrade is about to complete as well. The Lings and Hydras are back onto this set of rocks, clearing that out on the bottom side. Extra Bane's going to come morphing straight in. Gets some snipes immediately. Viper drops down before it does anything, and Solar just can't break through this position. I mean, this is where you kind of need some lurkers to at least set up from a distance and break down the wall or something initially, right? I mean, that would be a great, at least a much better starting point than anything else here. Bane's Hydra's continuing through, base is taking some shots. We are losing some orbitals, but ByuN has a lot of orbitals. I mean, he's really controlled this game. Two SCVs, 2 drones being picked away at. A few of the broodlings getting taken down as well. We still see just lurkers producing things still on the way out for the moment. And the problem is that as you go into lurkers, ByuN already has a lot of the response to lurkers that he would need. Snipe, snipe, snipe. A bunch of these lurkers already getting shot down. Fire Force will just jump onto the hatchery in the top, knocking down a drone over there as well. Here come the rest of these Lings running through. Banelings as well. The Ghost is going to have to pull back. Our Banelings continue to come through. You are going to knock down a command center as we go. A few lurkers just setting up. This top right base not being allowed. Obviously, Solar's struggling to take base himself. If he can deny that one, it just keeps the economy game in a more reasonable position. That base mining for ByuN would be a bit of an issue for him. We're talking about a game where the resource loss difference is already 11k difference, so it's important to work through that as we do knock down our lurker here. Yeah, the CC just has to lift up too many units in the top side for the moment. ByuN with more factories, by the way. 3 more factories on the way. We're ready for that later game kind of mech switch. Obviously, at some point, as you head into that mech army, you generally want to be generally you want to kind of get to this sort of point where you want to be able to build up a bunch of Thors in case of Broodlords, for example. So there's a few things you want to be doing as Burrow is on the way up. A few factories are still producing. Ghosts come forward, a group unit gets picked away at. Lings are going to come in and knock down 2 siege tanks straight away. The tank shot from Thar knocks out a group of Banelings, so taking those away for a little bit. We do see the Burrow is about to finish. And here we go, moving forward. We actually see a couple of missile turret shots doing decently. Liberators to try and help hold this position. How many SCVs do we get rid of? You can get rid of all the SCVs. You got to imagine this takes a turn in the right direction as we do see our Liberators continuing to fire. The Viper's getting picked away at. Both players taking some heavy losses, but the problem is at the tail end, generally it's going to be the Terran that is able to win out, because the Terran gets a lot more kind of cleanups at the tail end of these fights than the Zerg does. So then you got to like a little bit more for ByuN, who has more money right now to be rebuild with as well. So that's also currently a factor for this next little while. tanks, liberators, hellbats all on the way out. We will split this army apart and get ready to come running through. In we go. Things will chase in, and well, you can see everything just like I say in retreat mode straight away here. Flings, Banes, Hydras coming straight through. The Ghost getting chased all the way out. And we do have, in the end, ByuN, the one that drops a bit more supply overall, losing a lot of the SCVs, definitely helps Solar to take the edge in this. Dead SCVs, a couple of command centers still coming up, Hellbats as well. You have tanks, marauders, ghosts continuing to produce, and the Infernal Pre-Ignite is moments away from finishing, so we have that blue flame for the super late game as well. Well, I did ask for some longer games here to round out this qualifier, and we're definitely getting it here. 22 minutes on Babylon in the WardiTV Spring Fling Qualifier 1 finals. And both these players will be qualified into that main event. As that bio comes up, we drop down a few of those drones. You can see our Banes continuing through, the Lings, the Hydras continuing as well, Hellbats and Ghosts continuing to chase. And everything comes running through, a couple of tanks getting knocked down as well. Solar is maybe on the verge of clearing this game up, but the problem is ByuN still has an army. It's just going to be coming through very soon. Oh, Widowmine production continuing. More ghosts as well. No need for Thors yet. Solar also doesn't really have the money to make a Broodlord switch, so that's not been a factor at all here. Flings, Banes continue to get set. Battling Bane continuing through. Widowmines, Libs, and a couple of tanks continue to produce as well. So all of that's still being brought in. And we do have our Hellbats continue to produce here. A couple of these mines coming up. Flings, Banes, and the Hydras all on the way through. Just going to be seeing the scans continuing out across that left-hand side at the moment. Well, ByuN's supply definitely struggling. I gotta say, impressive stuff from Solar, because I really felt like ByuN really controlled a lot of the early game. Really felt like a lot of the fights continue to be very good for him. Resources lost. 12k favorable is nice, but Solar's done a great job of denying the economy of ByuN and making it so that, even though he's been trading badly, he really has outmagged ByuN in a big way, and that's the reason why he's starting to grasp control of this series at this stage. Things continue around. The Marauders will go for some of this creep spread. Lings to the bottom right side, going to run straight into this planetary fortress, getting surrounded. Planetary will take a lot of shots and a couple of SCVs going down. That's 27 dead workers. The planetary doing a bit of a spin around and knock down groups of Lings after groups of Lings. Five Hellbats producing at the moment from ByuN. Bringing all of these out as we turn around. Lings, Banes, Hydras get chased away. Start to work our way through some of that creep spread as well. I mean, any creep you can knock back is going to make it easier to push forward at a later point. Solar really has the map covered in creep. It really means that ByuN has to take a much slower approach at this stage. You know, you can't just go waltzing across anywhere, right? So, definitely one thing to keep in mind as our Hydras, our Lings, and our Banelings will continue around the left, and just seeing these few changelings moving on forwards. Hellbats picking their way through a bunch of those. There goes Lings and Banes all coming up, and just seeing our siege tanks also continue to produce here. but Bio will take a step in and just clean out some of the creep spread, allowing us to just open up the area a little bit. A couple of snipes line up and 2 lurkers get shot as we move forward. A bunch of that creep continues to go down. ByuN standing up strong down on that bottom side. Flings and Banes continue to roll through. The Ghost going to start retreating backward. Actually not having a great time here, as the Lings and Banes have a great time rolling into this, but eventually are running into too many libs, too many tanks. ByuN's supply is just not there at all. I mean, his army's not too far out, but it's not pretty, right? At the end of the day, it's definitely not pretty. We can see that much at least. Here comes another round of onslaughters. I mean, Solar must feel as though he's moments away from breaking through him, but Solar's got to be careful. His own bank is currently drained. He can't rebuild massively, right? He's got to be a little bit careful. Lurkers just pinging their way through this planetary fortress. Again, some good damage done there. You line up a snipe, Queen goes down. Overseer just gets to survive, able to get away there. Big stuff. That's actually a pretty big deal. Playing Hydra's Banes. Continuing to get set up here as we will have our Marauders stemming into the bottom left. Going to go straight after this hatch. Just going to pick away at that immediately. Knocking that down. Again, 22 Lings, couple Hydras all coming through. He's trying to snipe a Baneling there, I believe. That didn't work out, but ByuN has knocked down a base. Remember, Solar's money is low, so any base he loses is less money he has, which is more of a chance here for ByuN than what we initially felt like he had, honestly. Nearly 30 minutes here in this grand final, and this really is turning into something more than I thought it was going to. I like this though. Solar goes from a different direction. ByuN's very well defended from that left-hand side, but if you run into the middle of his bases, ByuN doesn't have enough stuff to be defending everywhere, right? He gets a couple of initial snipes off here, gets rid of that lurker, the parasitic bomb to help get rid of the lib as we line up some more snipes. Another lurker going down. ByuN actually has more army supply than Solar here, and if he gets more snipes, he's going to continue to do very well. He sniped a changeling. I didn't even know you could snipe changelings. That is news to me. Sniping changelings. That's the kind of game this is coming down to, apparently, is ByuN surviving on the lowest of economies, but he's traded so well. 16k resources loss difference. That's up from the 12k recently. I just don't know if you... I mean, if Solar just mines the top right, and what if Solar just slows it down? Because right now, ByuN doesn't have the money to build. Solar could slow it down, mine, and then surely Solar can just go maxed out, and there should be no competition from ByuN in terms of amount of units at that point. I think this is one of those moments where, honestly, Solar's kind of killing himself by continuing to fight, and I understand you don't want to give the Terran time, but when the Terran has so few workers, I think you can really get away with being given some time. I don't think that's going to be anywhere near as much of a problem as it once was. Hydras will knock their way through the orbital command. That will fall. Snipe, couple Banes getting picked off. Going back here, another Mongol growth going down. We are going to see a couple of the tanks getting caught already. I mean, again, Solar's army just never quite as big as it maybe should be, but I think in the end we're going to get there. Eventually we are going to have a point where ByuN just runs out of stuff, and this game has got to come to a close. Again, he's staying in this game because of snipes, and he's scaring Solar off, but he just can't reproduce. Anytime ByuN loses anything, it's going to be so freaking costly for him. As we have a few Hydras coming in, they're going to knock down this orbital, take that out of the way. Things Hydras, the Infestors continue to build Queens. Coming up, and we see a couple of our Ghosts on the way out as well. I mean, ByuN just trying to get up anything he can, and Ghosts are the most efficient thing you can build at the moment, so any Ghost is probably going to be good. jump out Medivacs. Loading up and trying to save stuff, but I think there's finally just too much stuff from Solar. I think we finally get to a closing point of this game. Number 1. Jeez, that was really quite something. GG. Solar takes game 1 of the best of 3. And that is going to be our first map of the grand finals. Wow, what a net. Bottom left-hand corner, our Red Terran down 1 map is going to be the Shopify Rebellion player, ByuN. It's LL, not II. God damn it. I guessed, and I guessed wrong. Rodri, LL. Thank you so much for getting gifted a sub. I don't know why, because the rest of your name's in lowercase, but I was just like, yeah. Lowercase first name, II on the rest. Onsite Gaming Solar in the top right-hand corner as we get this one underway and have a look to see what's going to go down in the near future. Guns opening with the 2 racks, so throwing it back to the start of the last game. Gonna go for the same again, pretty much. Away we go. We'll be heading down the bottom left. Again, second rack's going to finish up in a moment. Our hatch gas and pool call coming in. Quality's non-stop, we just finished winter. Yeah, well, everyone was telling me it was already spring, so I guess we have to get the spring stuff going. Honestly, we just have to cram in as much stuff as we can, because there is obviously DreamHack. Well, what used to be DreamHack, I guess. DreamHack stuff is coming up basically soon. So we basically have like 3 weeks there where we just can't run anything. So we're basically just getting ahead of those 3 weeks by running as our stuff already, basically, you know, so. How many ants does this man play? 9 minutes per hour. You know why? Because we have 9 minutes of downtime per hour waiting for games, usually. And you know what those 9 minutes of ads per hour do? They push out all of the StarCraft in between them. Would you believe it? Alatreon, thank you so much for the 3-month resub. As we do have just the Roaches coming up straight away from Solar. He doesn't want another long game. He's quite happy to make this one end quite quickly. Roaches, Fling speed. The aggression is setting up already. Now the Reapers will be able to kind of see this. Does that mean ByuN can get enough up to defend back at home? It doesn't necessarily go. Obviously, seeing it usually does go a long way, but in this case, you've opened the Reapers, and now you're only gonna, you're gonna have a later factory, etc. So you're not gonna have a factory unit to help you defend this. So the bunker is going to be very important. Tech Lab about to finish on that factory. Starport is building. Obviously, the Tech Lab's super important though, because you want to be able to build the initial tech unit. Is going to be immediately to a siege tank. We do have a bunker to buy time, which gives you a good chance of seeing that siege tank get onto the map. Just a Vile, Depot taking some damage, a couple of barracks taking some shots. And even just getting the barracks knocked back here is nice. It's one of the things with Solar, right? If you force these barracks to lift or move away, they're not building that upgrades, you're not getting stim pack quickly or anything. And as these barracks lift off, the wall is going to be open, allowing Lings to flood on through, and that's when you can take down this bunker much more easily. Of course, Solar doesn't know necessarily about the second bunker that ByuN has prepared. As we move on forward here, first bunker goes down. We got a few Marines to be chased in, but this is where the second bunker is super important. I actually think that's where ByuN is going to find his hold. As he only loses 4 SCVs, obviously a barracks went down. How's the other? Still around at least. Looks like it's going to be a dead bunker in a moment or two. Corrosive Bile still dropping. It's not enough so far, and the Ravages keep going down, so it's a hold from ByuN. At least we got a few more SCVs, but Solar's all in with this, guys. He's still making units. No third base. There's not just a drone up behind this situation as a SCV count. Oh, it's not enough. The tank fire, friendly fire down the bunker in the end. Now no bunker, but did we kill off enough stuff with the bunker to be able to be okay here? Apparently, yes, we did, because Solar taps GG's. And we are going to game 3 with it all tied up. Game number 3. As in the bottom right-hand corner, our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Buddy loves talking about ads. I love being transparent with the chat as to what they might expect, you know? In the hopes that someone in the chat actually listens to me and actually takes in what I'm saying, and I might make one less person in Twitch chat complain about it when it happens, you know? These two chatting away. ByuN gonna Reaper open once again. This is the map we see this on the most frequently. Isn't Twitch CPM pretty much in the toilet nowadays? I make more money off of ads than I do off of subscriptions, so it's very worthwhile for me to run ads. I don't know if it's competitive with YouTube, but for me, running ads makes a lot of sense. The ads cut off that sentence. Perfect. Nailed it. Alright, these two obviously chatting away a little bit, but the Reapers are on the way out, and we'll start to see that Reaper action building up in a couple of moments. They're talking about how they can buy chicken with $40. I guess that's one way to look at it. ByuN says making money like this is hard. Twitch revenue versus YouTube revenue, which one's better? Well, I make more. Well, my YouTube channel is pretty small compared to my Twitch channel, so there's not really a fair sample size, you know. Two Reapers hop up, and well, Cryptima goes down. Reaper and the Lings dancing as ByuN dots back up to the high ground. This is just gonna knock Cryptima down, go for the Queen, bops it up in the sky once again. The Reapers do escape away for the moment. That will be that for now, as a couple command centers continue up on the side of ByuN, so bringing those up into play. We do have the Reapers coming all the way around, gonna grab a drone already. Lings run over. Reapers are going to just about slide away, so getting out of there for the moment. And Queen's coming up. We're going to see that stim coming through and the starport on the way up. The Reapers early here. You know, got a drone, get a Ling. Nothing too crazy during the first 2, 3, 4 minutes of the game. But we obviously now have a full-on bioplay setting up with the stim on the way through. Starport's going to go to the tech lab. We did see a Raven off of this in game number 1. I would imagine a Raven again. See Cloak with stim pack already on the way in, and just Banshees doesn't make as much sense. A Raven then go into medevac production while the factory builds a reactor. After the factories build a reactor, That works out a little bit better as the Reaper's trying to do everything they can to survive. The last grenade doesn't quite nab that drone. It's just the one extra drone going down there. And that will be that. There's the Raven, and like I say, it's going to line up nicely with the reactor being done, so you can then get double medevac out. So the build actually works quite nicely in terms of the ordering and the sequencing of when things are ready. It's definitely a bonus, as a couple of engineering bays will be finishing shortly from ByuN. Stimpack about to be done for him as well. A few extra Marines coming out, the medevacs still producing. That will really be his big go moment. Once those medevacs up and running. Solar going to prioritize the lair this game. Should get the Baneling Nest in the next 15 seconds or so it lines up with the lair finishing. We'll just have to defend the first medevacs and Marines with Fling Queen. And he will have the auto turret to deal with as well, which could maybe be a little bit annoying as well. So let's see what the Raven does. In the first game, honestly, the Raven did a lot. Solar, wouldn't say he dealt with it badly, but it did get a few kills. It did force drones off mineral lines for quite a substantial amount of time. And when you combine the Raven harassing and kind of pulling units around, the drop on the map will then be able to potentially do more, because the drop, you know, Solar has to respect the Raven. It gives the drop more openings than it would usually have as well. There's the auto turret, grabs a Ling, actually starts to fight the Queen as well. Turns back around for the drone, which is a better choice. And we just go straight up through the middle, we grab an Overlord, and actually Cryptium is galore as well, so really denies some of the creep leading up into this. Target firing there, drones down, puts the auto turret in the gap there, so you can't do very much with the Lings in terms of trying to kill it. Nice target fire on the Banes as he run up this ramp, but too many Lings and that's going to get pushed back. The Raven took some damage, 22 HP left on it. It is taking some hits, but survived and alive for the moment still. And you have 1-1 continuing through. Baneless speeds coming up to completion. Queen popping out, extra Banes coming in. Spire very soon finishing up here on the side of Solar as well as we drop another auto turret down. 2 drones going to get picked off there. Forward, just going to be seeing a couple of tanks will be sieging. Ling's going to run straight through, surround those tanks immediately. The Banes trying to reach, and the Marine's just going to be about able to stay away for the moment. Okay, Mutas on the way out. Solar again prioritized that lair early and will have the Mutas this game to help him harass, to help him control. Of course, really good against ByuN. As long as you don't get overrun by a parade push, Mutas are fantastic at obviously backstabbing, but also clearing up a lot of the drops that ByuN was so good with in that first game that they played today. And that Solar definitely struggled against a little bit. We'll get rid of these first 2 medevacs immediately. And now ByuN knows there's Mutas. Now you can make preparations and play around them a bit more, but already a successful start. Knock down 2 medevacs and take not just that activity off of the map, but obviously take down those units. There's massive benefits to that, of course. So, yeah, solid start there as well. Is through the bottom side of the map, heading across down to the bottom right-hand corner. Just taking a few shots, we will have the Overlord speed about to finish up. +1 flyer attack is going to be done as well very soon. You just see a Widowmine peeling away over to the sides. Those meters back in the center, man, just pulling away, and a few SCVs move over. We've got an AFK Mule over here, and obviously pretty inactive meters, right? Defending initially, but then not really doing anything else from there just yet. Hive coming up. First Thor shot is good, of course. That's the problem with the mutas. If the defense really is just that good for ByuN, you can't get him to do anything, then, well, that's a freaking problem, right? I mean, that is genuinely an issue that you're going to have to work around. Obviously, now you kind of, if you haven't really used the mutas that much, you're going to switch away from them. Well, were they really worth it in the first place? Like, yeah, killing the first drop was decent, but having no follow-up from them, or having no follow-up from there, definitely surprising. Trying to make the way in. Obviously, defense again from ByuN is good. Double turret is just going to be too strong as we do begin to move forward. Obviously, ByuN has to be a bit more passive than usual on this map because of the fact that the mutas are here. So he's not being able to move out as aggressively. That gives the Zerg the map control. But you've got to remember that all those mutas are 30. How many mutas are there? 15? So yeah, 30 army supply. That's not as good as it usually would be if it was other units. So that's big. The Widow Mine is disgusting. Holy crap. That was actually ridiculous. Oh my. It wasn't even these mines, right? These weren't the big ones. 21 kills on one of them. There was a Widow Mine that killed, like, more units than I've ever seen a mine touch before. That was absolutely disgusting, that first Widow Mine shot that went off. Well, ByuN will use this momentum and press forward, using the Thors to tank a little bit, allows the Bio to stay alive a little while. He needs to get the Marines back, let the Marauders do some of the tanking here as we actually lift up into Medevac to try and escape. Extra Thor, another reinforcement showing up. It's not enough for the moment here from ByuN to keep going through. Pushing on up, a bit more crew spread going down. We do have this army of ByuN going to retreat away a little bit. The mutas peel back down the right side as well. Going to get a cancel up on that command center. Just going to knock that down immediately. And again, the mutas continue to peel back around the other direction. Our Marines continue to come through. And drop a changeling on the right side as well. We just continue to move around. We do move up at the left side with the Bioforce. A couple Queens taking some shots, and Widow Mine's firing up again. A little different Widow Mine striking here. Marines still pulling back. We still got some Widow Mines to fire. It goes on the Overseer, splashing onto the Marines. He can survive this. He's running out of Medevacs. Doesn't have that lift up potential. Will turn and fight the Lings off creep, and that will turn Solar around. But Solar is holding on, and of course fully transitioning out of mutas and into Hydras now. He's not built a muta in a long time. 5k resources lost. ByuN taking a 5th. But Lurkers are on the way, and they're getting those Lurker upgrades too. So Lurker's about a spike in power here in this game number 3. Seismic Spine's about to be done. Like I say, those Lurkers are going to be powering on up. Will be a big part of the future. Getting into that tech is where Solar usually is at some of his absolutely very best ZVT, so expect him to feel pretty good with that once it kicks into play. Just come by, a couple more cleanups. Lurkers are going to burrow out to the center already. And as we move up here, we're going to try and grab a Lurker, not quite able to. The few mutas will chase the Medevac away over to the right. And Medevac is dead. Nice catch. So kind of funny that the mutas haven't really done anything for a long time, and yet now, when there's just a few left over, they actually do get a pretty nice shutdown on a Medevac. Still making use of those units. There's a couple of Ghost Snipe up, a couple of Lurkers straight away here, guys. Just seeing the Bioforce. Still sat in the center, a couple Widow Mines going down, the Bane's crashing in, a few Marauders taking damage. Our Bio will stim on up, Lings and Banes will roll on through. The Planetary Fortress taking a lot of shots, is going to drop down dead. The rest of the Bane still coming in here. 10 SCVs going down. Make it 11, and the Lurk are just going to snipe away at a couple of SCVs. Over to the left, we knock down a Lurker, and we open up the pathway once again to not have to worry so much about that. So we have Marines to just knock down a few of the Changelings. Solar maxed out, ByuN is not, and I do worry a bit that this kind of has similarities to that first game where Solar just has a lot of bases, he has a lot of mining, and if he can just keep on denying the mining of ByuN to a decent extent, you can generally do very, very well here. The Terran just can't keep up no matter how well they're trading. The Bane's really hunting, and they are honestly getting closer and closer to that group of ghosts. Finally, the ghosts run away as extra Banes show up. I mean, a lot of ghosts died here. This was not easy for ByuN. In fact, I don't think this is even okay for ByuN at all. I think ByuN's in a lot of trouble. He is going to type out GG's, and that is going to do it. Solar is going to take the 2-1 victory